Ooh, I know some people are going to be excited about this one. I think every single video Matt and I put out, somebody asks us, where's the 3,000-year-old guitar build series? Are you done with it? Are you ever going to finish it? Well, we haven't finished it. We haven't finished it at all. We're still working on it. That guitar is about 90% done, and it's going to be featured back on this channel very soon. But in the meantime, I do have an ancient Sitka guitar that I built earlier this year that has not been featured on this channel at all. That was kind of happening in the background, and it is done, and I'm super stoked to show you guys what it sounds like, because in theory, this one should sound very similar to the one that we're building in the 3,000-year-old guitar series. But before we do that, I do want to take just a second for a shameless plug, because after all, we're trying to run a business here. So many people have come out and supported us by buying our, hang on. Jeez. So many people have supported us by purchasing our Titlecaster electric guitars, and we do still have a couple available on the website, and we're currently building another very large batch of them. And this one here, this retro design Titlecaster, has been my absolute favorite guitar that I have, my favorite electric that I've ever built. Yet it is still available for purchase. So if this is something that you like, something that you're into, hit us up. We can get you whatever information you're interested in. Because I keep telling Matt, if this thing doesn't get sold really soon, I'm just going to keep it for myself because I just absolutely love it. But now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the other guitar. Okay, just like the last video that I put out just a couple of days ago, this is another Grand Session model guitar. Like I said, it's by far my most popular. So the same shape as that last one. It's about a 16.5-inch lower bout on this guitar with a 5-inch deep body. And the top, as I mentioned in the intro, does have our 3,000-year-old ancient Sitka top on it. So this is my second ancient Sitka guitar, and I have, I think, 3 more that I'm building right now. So that'll be it for me. That'll be 5 total ancient Sitka guitars that I will have ever built, because they are all out of this stuff. But look at the back and sides on this bad boy. Just a stunning set of African Blackwood. Just one of my favorite tone woods. I always say my favorite 3 tone woods on a guitar that for back and sides are Brazilian rosewood, zircote, and African Blackwood. And so thank God, because I get to build a lot of those, and I just love it. What else do we have? We've got some incredible figured mahogany for the neck. Hopefully that's coming out well in the video here. And we carried our African Blackwood design onto the headstock, which is just absolutely killer. I hope you can see it there. And also on the back of the headstock as well. Just absolutely lovely. Just a lovely guitar. Now, the whole thing is bound in curly maple, and then the customer in this particular case actually asked that we do abalone trim, the full Monte on this guitar. And so it does have abalone trim on the soundboard, the double abalone rosette, abalone around the fingerboard, the headstock on the sides, as well as on the back. And like I tell folks all the time when they come to me, they're like, well, I like pearl, but I don't want it to look like it puked all over the guitar. I always tell them, well, I use a much thinner pearl. I actually use Advanced Shell Technologies straight strips for most of my guitars. It's just a very deep and vibrant colored abalone shell, but it's not nearly as wide as what I think a lot of people have become accustomed to, especially with like a Martin D45, where they use very, very thick abalone strips. We use real thin ones here, and I think that it makes for a much more understated guitar, where it's not just like exploding with color. What I like about a little bit of abalone on a guitar is it just, if it catches the light just right, you get a little bit of shimmer, and it just looks really, really nice. But yeah, I think this guitar really does a good job of speaking for itself. But this particular client came to me actually when he commissioned the guitar and said, look, yes, I'm a player. I do play guitar. I'm not like an avid guitar player, but really what I'm looking for is, yes, a guitar, but also an heirloom piece, something that I'm purchasing for the family, something that we can all have, something that'll get passed down. And to that end, he said, I really want it to be a statement piece with the inlays. I want those inlays that we're going to put on the guitar to represent my family. And so just like everybody that I build guitars for, I usually get started on the construction of the actual instrument. And during that process, the few months that takes, we continue our dialogue and talk about like, okay, so where are the inlays going to go? And in this case, we kind of got stalled up because he basically said, I want to tell my family's immigration story from the Ukraine at the turn of the century. And he had originally sent me photographs of like the ship that the family came in on, and some original documents from Ellis Island, And we were just toying with as many ideas as we possibly could to like elegantly tell that story. And we tried out a lot of different things. And by that, I mean, you know, I make a digital design of the inlay and in some cases actually physically make the inlay. But before I put it on the guitar, you know, we tack it on in different places and decide, is that really what we want? It's kind of like getting a tattoo in many cases. But what we ended up landing on for this particular guitar, I think really represents his family and his family's story really, really well. So what we did, and I'll try to get some photographs so we can get some better close-ups of this for you guys, but we actually did some Stars of David at the top of the neck, and they're supposed to look like they're falling down the neck, and then they slowly turn into just regular 5-point stars, and then they fall into the Stars and Stripes of the American flag down here. So it's just melding process of his family's Jewish heritage all coming down here and then landing inside the flag with the Statue of Liberty at the bottom to represent the story of how they came in through the New York Harbor at Ellis Island. And it just came out really, really cool. I love, love, love how the American flag came out on here. All hand-cut pieces on this, and I used a lot of maple. In fact, it's all maple that I used different stains on to get these colors. And then I used sand and heat to add the shading to it so that it would really look like it's flapping in the wind. And it's just gorgeous. I love how the color pops on the guitar. And then on the back of it, to really tie it all in, we actually took the photograph that he sent me of the ship that his family came in on, the SS Finland, and I made an inlay and we stuck that down at the bottom of it. And so those things, along with the label that goes inside all of my guitars that, you know, says this one-of-a-kind instrument was handcrafted for, and then I put the client's name on it. It really, really is something now at this point that he'll be able to proudly hang on his wall and tell the story of his family's journey, but also be a usable piece of art that he can pick up and play and treat just like any other guitar. And I'm really, really stoked with how it came out. I did this guitar, delivery of this guitar, sometime middle of last year, and I actually have it back right now for an event that I just did where I was trying to showcase some of my guitars that I had built, and I was really looking forward to this one coming back because I absolutely love it. So it just got a fresh buff out. I got some new strings, a new setup, all the things, and what I want to do is give you guys a chance to hear what she sounds like. So what we're going to do is get the microphone all set up so that we can do that for you. Okay, before I play any notes on this guitar, as always, I'll take just a second to let you guys know what the signal chain is and how I'm capturing the sound on this guitar so that you at home can trust what you're hearing. We're using the H6 Zoom field microphone recorder, using the XY microphone, and it's about 6 to 8 inches away from the sound hole. We're not using any compression, no reverb, no absolutely post-processing whatsoever. I take the memory card out of it and we put it on this video so that you guys can hear it unadulterated. But the trick to hearing it accurately is either going to be able to use good headphones or a good quality head of speakers so that you guys can trust what you hear. But your mileage is going to vary depending on what you're listening to it from. And anytime that I'm talking, we're using an overhead microphone, and we're going to cut that out so that when the guitar is being played, it's just this. So what we'll do, as always, I'm going to run through all the major chords and let those ring out so you guys can get a sense of what they sound like. Before I play too, I think I'll maybe taint the waters just a little bit by letting you know that what I think of this guitar. So the Ancient Sitka, as I said, this is my second guitar I've built with Ancient Sitka, it's just such a good tone wood. It's just so good. Yes, it's crazy expensive. I once paid almost $4,000 for just a top piece of wood, just for the Ancient Sitka once. And that's ridiculous, but you know what? It makes for an incredible sounding guitar, and some things are kind of worth it. But yes, it's obviously a Sitka spruce, and it's just incredible sounding. It kind of takes all the things I love about Sitka and magnifies them and amplifies them, makes the wood, in my opinion, a little bit more sensitive to the touch, which makes it feel like a more high performance guitar. And it's got good bass, it's got good mids, it's got good highs, which you're about to hear. That paired with the African Blackwood makes for a guitar that it does everything you want it to do. It's just like a sports car. When you go to put it into the corner, it goes and it grips. This guitar does the exact same thing. But as opposed to the video that I just shot, which I do encourage you guys to check out, with the Driftwood guitar that I built with walnut back and sides and the torrefied Sitka spruce, which is a very dry sound, I think what I want you to pay attention to here is the African Blackwood in this guitar really adds a chiminess. It adds a glassiness to the tone that I think that you're going to hear. I do think it does kind of have a scooped EQ curve to it, where a little bit of the mids are pulled out with the African Blackwood, but the sound just seems to kind of reflect off the interior of this guitar and come out of the sound hole with just a high velocity. And I just really am happy with how the combination sounds. The other ancient Sitka guitar that I built, I did Zercote back and sides, and I do think I like the Zercote guitar just a kiss better. But it's also been years since I've built that guitar or played that one. So let's give this guy a try and let you hear what it sounds like. I'll shut the heck up. Yeah, using D'Addario 12 gauge, which is their light gauge, 80-20 bronze strings, which apparently I called them phosphor bronze in the last video. But yes, just for your guys' reference on that. But yeah, man, like the last guitar, I just love the way that the F major sounds on this one. Yeah, there's a transparency to it that's just so nice. The African Blackwood just seems to let the notes get out of the way of the next one, and so there's a clear articulation of it, and I love it. This is probably my 10th, if not more, African Blackwood guitar that I've built, and I've got many more on my wait list, and I'm excited about every single one of them because it's just always so good. Hard to see. So I don't know what else to say. I want to leave this up to you guys. Let me know what you think about how it sounds. What do you think about this wood combination? And I promise we will have the actual 3,000-year-old guitar, which is exactly like this one, except for instead of African Blackwood, it's got African Ebony for the back and side. So it should be very, very close sounding to this. We're going to have photographs of this on the website. We have links to the website down below, links to our electric guitars, which are still available for purchase. So if you'd like to get one of those, do let us know. And let us know if you'd like to see more and more of these. We'll do them. We'll keep them short and sweet for you. But we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.